Welcome back to my views and news. Three news stories. First one is about reintegration of Tigray fighters into society. Now, when we are hearing that Tigray fighters will be disarmed, they'll be reintegrated into the society. They could be made part of forces as well. A group which was disarmed around 5 years ago, which surrendered around 5 years ago, is complaining that the promises made by the government, Ethiopian government back then, were not kept. What is the name of this group? What are they saying? And secondly, Mekelle, Tigray, the capital, ENDF has not entered Mekelle so far. Well, it's about to enter Mekelle in coming days. Before that, we are hearing about entry of armed Tigray fighters in Mekelle. And thirdly, viewers, every day we hear about new projects being built in Ethiopia. Prosperity Party built headquarters, zonal headquarters as well. In Addis Ababa, PM Abiy is building National Palace. Where does the money come from? Are government employees' salaries being deducted for such projects? Well, dozens of teachers have been arrested in Oromia region. Their salaries were deducted. They were complaining. Why is that their salaries are being deducted on yearly basis? Details for you. Firstly, viewers, Amhara Democratic Movement is an armed group, or it was an armed group. When TPLF was in power in alliance with EPRDF, this group was based in Eritrea. And back then, several opposition Ethiopian groups were based in Eritrea. Eritrean government was backing them, supporting them, arming them, and the groups were involved in activities, in attacks inside Ethiopia. Because back then, during EPRDF rule, Eritrea-Ethiopia relations remained very strained. Then in 2018, PM Abiy took power and he took office, and a peace deal was signed. So before 2018, the group was based in Eritrea, armed group. When PM Abiy took office in 2018, we know that several armed groups based in Eritrea, they surrendered, they made peace with the government. They were promised. What were they promised? They were promised houses, they were promised salaries, they were promised jobs, but nothing happened. An Amharic news source yesterday interviewed some former members of Amhara Democratic Movement who surrendered in 2018, and they are complaining that the government did not keep its promise, that they were not provided with any houses or with any employment. So that is why reintegration will take a long time, and to implement reintegration you need money. Does Ethiopian government have money to implement the reintegration program of Tigray fighters? No. Government is in dire need of direct financial aid. It is in talks with IMF, World Bank. Its birr is losing value. Government is planning to devalue birr because in open market exchange rate of birr to dollar is different, while official exchange rate is different. Birr's actual value is declining. So government is in crisis, economic crisis. How can it afford funding for reintegration? That is why government is relying on support from EU and US. Both are still major players when it comes to implementation of peace deal. And by the way, this is the first time within the last 2 years that I have heard about the complaints of Amhara Democratic Movement fighters. Where were they before the start of war? Now, when the Tigray fighters could receive some financial assistance through reintegration program. Suddenly, Amhara democratic movement fighters have sprung up. They want financial aid as well. They, if they were made, if they were promised something, yes, they have right to claim, but it shouldn't be just to undermine the peace deal signed between TPLF and Ethiopian federal government. Secondly, what is happening in Mekelle, Tigray's capital? We know that Ethiopian federal police has entered Mekelle. It happened a few days ago. And since then, we have been waiting for the entry of Ethiopian Army, Ethiopian National Defense Force in Mekelle. Reportedly, preparations are underway. ENDF could enter Mekelle in coming days. Before that, it is being reported that large number of Tigray fighters has entered Mekelle city. They are armed and they have been seen on the streets of Mekelle city. It's not clear. Have there been are there some camps established inside Mekelle city where these Tigray fighters are reporting? It's not clear, but presence and entry and presence of large number of Tigray fighters, armed Tigray fighters in Mekelle is being seen. It also confirms that TDF has surrendered heavy weapons only. Small arms, light weapons have not been surrendered so far because Pretoria agreement states that Tigray fighters will surrender heavy weapons to regional government. Then a new regional force will be formed in Tigray and the weapons will be distributed to the regional force. Extra weapons will be surrendered to Ethiopian National Defense Force. Since they are armed, they're being seen armed in Mekelle, it means that Tigray forces have not surrendered small weapons, They have surrendered only light arms, and there could be some camps, maybe inside Mekelle city, though we could not find any details of camps inside Mekelle. When will ENDF enter Mekelle? We are hearing only unconfirmed reports that maybe in coming hours we could see ENDF enter Mekelle, but no confirmation. Though it's very close, reportedly, understanding has been reached. So we could see Ethiopian army in Mekelle. Lastly, viewers, while Ethiopian government, Prosperity Party are building huge projects, where does the money come from? Are poor Ethiopian civil servants paying for these lavish projects? Are their salaries being deducted? That seems to be happening. In Kalam Valega, Lalo Kile district, teachers have been arrested. More than 20 teachers have been arrested. The teachers were arrested because they were protesting against deduction of their salary. In 2021, their 1 month salary was deducted for PM Abiy's Dine for Ethiopia program. Back then, no one said that PM Abiy's Dine for Ethiopia program was being funded by civil servants. In 2022, they say their 1 month salary was deducted for the building of Prosperity Party headquarters, zonal headquarters in the zone, Kalam Valaga zone. And now in 2023, once again, their 1 month salary is being deducted for the construction of Culture and Tourism Office of the zone. They protested, they were threatened, they wrote a letter to the zonal government. Zonal government did not listen to them, zonal government arrested them, they are in prison. Government says they have resigned, they were inciting violence, they were creating instability. That is why they have been arrested. But teachers' bodies say that they were protesting against deduction, forcible deduction of salary. A few days ago, I did some videos on university teachers' protests across Ethiopia. University teachers protested for rise in salaries. We saw that at Arba University, Teachers union leaders were arrested. They remained in prison for a few days. They were released, and the teachers went on strike for a few days ago. For a few days, then the strike came to an end. That just shows that teachers are already underpaid in Ethiopia. They want increase in their salaries. Instead of giving an increase, government is deducting their salaries for sometimes non-government projects. I mean, if Prosperity Party office is being built, why is that teachers are being forced to pay for it? Prosperity Party is a political party. These are very serious allegations being leveled against the party. The party built a very modern headquarters in Addis Ababa as well, inaugurated by PM Abiy a few months ago. PM Abiy himself is building National Palace in Addis Ababa. No one knows where money is coming from for this project. That is how the government seems to be funding the construction of these mega projects. Civil servants are suffering, it seems. Thank you for watching.